moving right along to setting appointments and how important this is, because we are always, whether we're working internet leads, whether we're working Facebook leads, whether we're at our kids' Little League baseball game and we come across people, we have conversations, especially at open houses. I don't think, the average agent is not doing enough to setting appointments. And so having the right mindset, it starts with having the right mindset when it comes to setting appointments. The goal on every single encounter that you have with somebody that you're having a conversation with about real estate is to set an appointment. Appointment can be obviously in person. Mm-hmm. It can be over the phone. It can be via Zoom now, Facebook, video chat, all of those things can be considered an appointment. Obviously, the ideal appointment is in person. People are very rarely going to call you. Okay, you meet somebody and you give them your information, you meet them at an open house, here's a flyer, here's a business card, or whatever the case is. They're not going to call, and they don't call. And so for us, and we're, our team, we focus a lot on this, and I focus a lot on myself. When I come across somebody and we have some sort of conversation regarding real estate, I don't want to end that conversation. I don't want to say goodbye without setting an appointment. And doesn't happen 100%. But if you go in with that mindset, you're going to set more appointments than not.
Yeah. What's the objective? I mean, you don't enter anything without, already identifying what your objective, what your win's going to be. But to that same point, we had this conversation a few weeks ago when we were talking about RayPack. And, and we were talking about how you can sign up and into your inbox will come all of the home ownership and private property right information with talking points so that you sound intelligent. When you open your mouth, what are you opening your mouth and saying? The environment that you're in, the candidates that you're talking to, what are you saying different than the other realtor that might be standing on the sideline of the soccer game along with you? You have to talk at an elevated perspective. If you do, then you're going to command more attention than you would if you're just trying to say, oh, where do you live? Have you ever thought about buying or selling? No, talk about the issues affecting real estate.
Make them want
to have a conversation with you.
Well, typically when my mouth's open, I'm injecting some sort of cheeseburger of some sort, but a little laughter from the millennial over there.
Yeah, that's an art in itself.
All right. Number 2, collect data. It does you no good whatsoever to come across someone, have a conversation about real estate, and not come away without their personal information, whether it's an email address, a phone number, a name, and so forth. Business cards, I didn't want to say don't work, so I put rarely work, but business cards don't work. If you are just handing out business cards at open houses and you're meeting people and hoping that the phone's going to ring, you know what? Someone else is going to be meeting with that client because they set the appointment. And for us, we lean on our West USA tools, whether it's our free, West USA websites or mobile apps. Is our mobile app better than Realtor.com or Zillow? It doesn't matter.
Right?
Because I can only give you my mobile app if I get your phone number or I get your email address. And so it's a mindset thing. The West USA tools are devices and vehicles in which to collect people's personal information so that I have their personal information, not only enter into my CRM, but now I have a way to follow up. Also, MLS tools, your search portal, open houses, show people how it works. RPR reports. Is RPR as accurate as pulling a full CMA?
Doesn't
Absolutely not, but it doesn't matter, because when I show you what the report looks like, and now you want to receive this report, I now have to collect personal information. And so it's not only setting the appointments, but if you don't collect the data, if you don't have the personal information, you're not going to be able to set the appointment. You're not going to be able to follow up the appointment. But so my 2 objectives when I meet someone: collect data and set the appointment.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's exactly the objective. To this particular one, data is important, and how you collect it. It goes back. I'm going to kind of say the same thing. I hate to say it. I'm going to talk about what you're saying and how you're requesting that information. That mobile app, for instance, is a lot better than handing somebody a business card. Business cards are also not only older in technology, they're kind of the way it used to be done. And to this day, I can tell you 30 years ago, people didn't get business because they handed out business cards to people either. The fact is you've got to your point, you've got to be primal with your what your objective is, and you've got to set that appointment. That's the number one thing. Data, and the nice thing about the mobile app is it's something that they're not used to receiving. They're not yet still the consumer. You and I are, as realtors, we think that mobile app's been around forever. And, but the consumer doesn't. They get that little tool and they're like, wow, this is pretty trick. And again, well, what do you need in order to, well, you know what? Could you text me? Here's my number. Could you text me, a request for this, or let me have your number and I can text this request to you. It's a no-brainer.
And if you've been with West USA for 20 years and you have no idea that we have mobile apps or what our free websites,
orientation's coming up.
We got another orientation coming up. But for me, I don't even carry business cards. One of the tricks that we use, and I'll share a little secret sauce that we do, is when we meet somebody and it now comes time to where I would typically hand a business card, I open up my phone, open up new contact, hand the phone to them, and people it's just habit. They'll enter their information into the phone, and I've had nobody lately turn me down on that.
You know what? For grins and giggles, grab anything, a fork, a pencil, your cell phone, walk over to somebody and hand it to them. Just put it out like you're going to give it to them. And you know what they do? By mistake, they reach for it and they take it, to your point.
Nick, you had something to say?
Well, I did do a little bit of research while you guys have been talking. Apparently, I was mistaken. I had wrong data about the millennial age range. Apparently, it's 1981. If you're born after that, it's 1996. You're millennial. So technically, I guess I am a millennial. But that begs the question: in your guys' dealings with the millennial age group, I would say the younger side of that, the 24 to 30-year-olds, how are you getting them to respond, reach out? Are you getting more emails from that demographic, that age range? Or are you getting more text messages? Because they don't want to be on the phone. They don't want to talk to you at all on a phone device. They want to meet.
They want to meet, and they love the mobile apps. They love the websites. They love anything that involves technology. They like, that Instagram and whatever. I still don't, and TikTok. Or TikTok or whatever it is.
And just so that we don't down millennials, NAR had a statistic about 4 years ago. I believe it's still true. And what they're saying is millennials do more online shopping than any other segment, and they pay attention to rankings and ratings. And yet, once they have made the decision to purchase, they are actually, in most instances, a better client than the other clients because they want you involved.
Some of my best clients are millennials, and this is not a knock on millennials by any stretch of imagination.
I think we recovered.
Yeah, it's a knock on me.
It was just a knock on you. All right. And number 3, give them options. When you're setting the appointment, don't give them a yes or no question. Would you like to meet? Don't give them the easy way out. Because when you give them the yes or no question, and you give them the easy way out, chances are it's going to be no. You're going to hear the excuses. So one of the things that we do in setting the appointments is we just give them options. All right, I'd love to meet with you. I'd love to go over this. Does tomorrow at 4 or Wednesday at 2? Which one of those work better for you? It's a little sales psychology. But you can't give them options. You can't give them the yes or no. Question.
No, you can't. You got to leave it open ended. What's the best time tomorrow? Or something along those lines. If you give them a question where they can answer no, it's over, and you're fighting for another question.